Hello again, I've been a bit viral this morning when it comes to videos, but here's a short, hopefully, statement. Fode. I'm not going to get money for this anyway, so fuck off and die. Is an expression that implies you rather wish that karma would get rid of said person without any direct involvement from your person. It does not constitute a direct threat by you. As far as I'm concerned, it is merely wishing that karma could remove someone from the situation. Also, to be a part of the Viking reenactment group and to make a veiled threat against someone who was the chief trainer, to then feel threatened by the response, well, let's sort it out at training, we'll have a duel or holmgang to whoever gives up first in front of witnesses under controlled circumstances, to then for you to view that as a threat means you really shouldn't be doing Viking reenactment. Stick to LARP. No offence, LARPers, I think you're wonderful people and I do enjoy the time I've spent with some of you, and rubber weapons is great fun. But, you know what I mean, it's like a football or soccer player, to you US people, switching over to rugby and then complaining when he gets roughed up. If you don't like the way the game is played, don't play it. It's that simple. And then if you choose to exacerbate, good word, the situation by having said person who you feel has threatened you banned from a public house stroke bar that they've been drinking in near enough since its beginning. So in other words, a totally separate situation to the reenactment group. Well, you are just making sure that situation cannot be resolved, aren't you? I mean, I'm fairly chilled about it. I'm a little bit disappointed and upset that because the persons involved aren't actually the owners of said establishment. They are merely head barmen. So the owners are sticking with what their staff has said, and that's fair enough. I said to one of them, yeah, that's fair enough, I accept your decision. But these people that have done this are showing extreme levels of immaturity, in my opinion, because this is not helping the situation be resolved. It is merely making it worse. And I think that is the point behind it. This person and the person who supports her, and there's probably one other, within this situation, within my former reenactment group, Odin's Raven Guard, I'm allowed to say that, as far as I'm concerned, I'm no longer a member of the group, unless I hear otherwise. So I will say what I please about the situation. If you are going to use this as a way to make sure that differences within the group cannot be resolved and that someone must therefore be excluded, because when it comes down to it, it's a numbers and obligation thing. So I will inevitably lose, because these two people they, were there at the very beginning and did a charity walk with the leader from Ipswich to York in 6 days, I think it was, which is an amazing feat. And that's why I joined the group in the first place. But then when the group gets its training venue, which was thanks to one of these people, I do believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows better. And has found events, but then basically shuts out the leader from chats about these events and refuses to engage with the head training officer, me, about those events, refuses to give back, well, always makes some excuse to not give back the standard that they carried to York, indeed refusing to produce it for an event, and then at said event complaining that because there was one slightly bleeding nose, one bashed ankle and one split lip on my part, so I took my lumps too, complaining that you think the combat is too rough when the leader has said it's fine. Well, that is not a good sign either. It's a sign you should not be doing this. But the leader of the group approves of it being done this way. So if you don't like that, and it's the leader that wants it done that way, I suggest you move on. Stop trying to destroy and take over something like this. As you have gathered, I do not react very well to it. Because since I joined, I've put my heart and soul into training new members. I put my heart and soul into trying to recruit. I wish darn well a few of those people had turned up before the shit hit the fan. Then I might have more support within the group. But I don't, unfortunately. There's just 3 on one side, a few neutrals, some of whom haven't been in the group long enough to be aware and therefore shouldn't get involved, and the leader. And someone attached, affiliated with the group, is also seeing things in a very balanced way, and I think trying to sort it through, and has been very wise on the issue, and may well, hopefully at least covertly, represent some of the ideas I had for moving forward at the AGM stroke council meeting that hopefully will occur some point this week or next. Which I've been banned from attending, as far as I know. This was supposed to happen Sunday evening. It didn't. I was informed it was just training. Okay. So yeah, these are my thoughts. You may have different opinions. You are entitled to them. But I was just protecting what I saw as the integrity of the group as the leader wanted it. I didn't do it in a very subtle or pleasant way, I'll admit to that. But my read is that if you try and be pleasant and subtle, as I have before with people who are similar, they will just ignore you and ride roughshod over what you're saying and carry on with what they're doing. People in the past who I've witnessed similar behaviour with, you have to pull them up sharpish and really get their attention quite aggressively. Problem is then they will turn it around on you, especially and I hate to say this, ladies, if they're female and you're a male, they will then play the victim. Because I got dogpiled over this incident by people who had nothing to do with what were going on, who were just her friends. Understandable, you support your friends. But some of whom have known me for long enough to know I wouldn't do that without good reason. But it's the internet. It's Facebook. Keyboard fucking warriors are everywhere, aren't they? You know, I hope at the very least, I hope even if I am permanently exiled, that Stagander, the leader, manages to sort things out so his vision of the group takes precedence again. And that I hope he finds someone else who will take over training duties. This is the only outcome I expect. I've learned to always expect the worst case scenario and never to hope for anything else. That way I'm still disappointed, but I just don't get that angry about it anymore. I get controlled anger about it. So chances are, when I hear for definite, and I think this is going to be the result, I will not go out drinking, because I'll just get myself banned properly from another pub, probably, for getting angry. I will stay in and probably drink myself into unconsciousness, because it's the only solution I've found over the years to getting rid of that anger. This is just the culmination of a year of shit in everything apart from my personal life. Well, apart from my love life, I mean, precisely. And it goes back further than that. Last year, my father died just after Christmas. This year, a good friend and mentor in historical reenactment passed away around about the same time of year. Then my mother has early stage senile dementia, and I took various items from her home to have them valued with her permission. She forgot she had given me permission. My younger brother, who I don't get on with anyway, chalk and cheese, then accused me of stealing from her and has never apologised. And that was 4 months ago. Not one single apology. Then somewhere where I did volunteer work, used new safeguarding rules that I was kind of present to study the course and stuff, and had been saying we needed something like that. But I'd suggested we have someone CIC trained, security, doorman, that kind of thing. I was hoping to gain some benefit from that, actually, because I sort of put myself forward as if if some payment could be made to get me through that training course, then yeah. But that didn't happen, and basically someone then used an unloaded toy Nerf gun as a way of reporting me as a safeguarding issue. And so, because I enjoyed my time there, but it's not It's not in my heart and soul. I like helping people. I like being social, but it wasn't the be all and end all for me. So I left, handed in my notice as a volunteer, because I knew it would happen again and again from certain sections of the community down there. Yeah. And then there was the whole debacle after weeks and weeks of leafleting and an entire day on election day of knocking on doors and asking people whether they'd voted or not yet, and if so, who for. I did 2 rounds of that for free. The local Labour councillor put a tenner behind the bar in the Arcade Street Tavern for me. Once I'd nearly finished those, and I was given no reason because I didn't ask, the bar manager asked me to leave. Now, I have been told this may have been because I wasn't a card-holding member of the Labour Party. I can't afford to be. But if that was the reason, I wish someone would communicate to me as to that was the reason. I'd be, oh, fair enough, that's fine. But I was given no explanation as to why. I haven't forced the issue because it's the first time I've been there. I don't give a shit. I went to a pub where I'm welcome about 1.5 minutes down the road. But it would be nice to get some feedback as to why. It may have been simply the manager didn't think I fitted, or it may have been that some of the rather more upper class Labour supporters did not like the presence of a working class Labour boy like myself. That tells you something, doesn't it? And then there's the issues with the Raven Guard. And with all that shit in mind, people wonder why I sometimes behave over the top, aggressive, and angry and frustrated. Especially when I'm currently going through the diagnosis for high-functioning autism ADHD. You're not allowed to stand up for yourself. The minute you, especially if you do it aggressively, stand up for yourself, you are painted as the bad person. Well, I think in certain circles we're still at the stage where if you do it and you're a bloke, you're a bad, aggressive psycho. If you do it as a woman, you're admired. That is not right. There should be one rule for both sexes. You know, one rule covering it. Either if you do it, you're respected or not. I think that's about it. I think I was venting there, really, wasn't I?